Hi, Facebook family and friends. This is Terri Hatchett and
So,
my husband Frank Hatchett, and we are the Hatchett Chronicles.
mhm.
How you feeling today, baby? My
Not too
husband.
good. My Cowboys lost. I'm really not in a good mood right now.
Okay, and we're not promoting that because
I
I'm
don't
on
want to hear
strike.
that. I
I
don't
do
want to
not
hear
watch.
that.
Well, let me
Well,
state for the record
you don't.
that I am on strike against NFL. I think it's a beautiful cause, and I am not watching NFL. However, my husband and I have a disagreement on that, and well,
I'm going to keep watching my Cowboys.
as you could see, we don't agree on everything. We might not argue, but we don't agree on everything.
We can agree to disagree.
And we disagree on that.
That's fine.
We really do. Ooh, this is an exciting time because y'all are seeing the Hatchet Chronicles. Actually, a little disagreement. Ooh,
Yeah.
screw your Cowboys.
Well, your
Which
49ers lost.
I'm not a 49er fan. I am not a 49er fan.
Oh, now you're not?
No, because I'm not. I don't. First of all,
If Kaepernick would not have gone through all of that,
but he
he'd still
did
be screaming.
But he did. And they were the first to turn their backs on him.
Anyway.
And so I am not a 49ers fan. I am not a fan of football, NFL at all.
Anymore ever?
Anymore ever at this point. I'm not going to say
Y'all
ever.
heard it, right? Y'all heard it, right?
I'm not going to say ever, but I'm not going to. I have to change my teams. I definitely won't be a 49ers fan anymore. And I've been a diehard 49ers fan forever and a day. And if I do go back to NFL, I will certainly be, excuse me, guys. I will certainly be changing my team. Thank you very much.
Come on over, Nick. Come on over.
No, I will never come over to the Cowboys, though. Screw your Cowboys.
Right.
Which reminds me, that is what our topic is about today. Our topic today is called cursing women. So,
women that curse.
Women that curse. And let me tell you, this topic came up from my husband. He thought of this topic. Because my husband really have a problem with women that curse. But he's not the only one. So it kind of drew my interest to, hey, there are actually men out here who really prefer their women not to curse. So we figured we would talk about it on this particular Hatchet Chronicles. First, let me say that you notice how the phone, when you said Cowboys, how it fell over.
That's because you was moving.
No, I think that was because you said the Cowboys. I'm just saying. Whew. Anyway, public announcement, had to get that in. I love my husband.
Anyway.
So, cursing women. And please do join in, as we say all the time. Join in on Speak Your Mind. We are big on people speaking their mind. So, husband, why? Here's my question. Husband, why don't you like cursing women? Or women that curse? Because, and what is the amount of cursing? I mean, suppose I said, damn, I'm mad today. That's cursing. Would that offend you?
That's not really, that's not really, one of those words that really get me. It's it's the F word, the B word, SHIT, and those words like that. My thing is this, period. My take on it is that if you have a vocabulary, use it. Why substitute your vocabulary for those words? I mean, if you're smart and an intelligent black woman, why would you use those words? To me, when women say those things, to me, this is my opinion and my opinion only. This is the way I feel. I feel like when women use those words like that, they belittle themselves. Because I know that you're more intelligent than to just use those words like that. And to me, like that coming out of a woman's mouth, it's a turnoff to me. Like that's just the way I feel. Like I just can't get into sitting there and a woman cursing like a dude, like she's a sailor off a boat or something. You know what I mean? Like that's just, I can't get into that.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So let's say that and for those who are watching, can you please let me know that you can hear us also? But let's say, for instance, like when you first, I got it. When you first met me, and you said there was something about me that you liked. Women these days have a habit, and I concur it's a bad habit. I think it is. That's my B. Like friends, how female friends don't. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry about the technical difficulties for some reason. Maybe because we're using my husband's phone today. I love him.
My phone's better than yours.
No, it's not. Okay, no.
It's just the way you got it propped up tonight. Forgive us for the technical difficulties this evening, y'all. Next time I'll set it up.
Oh, no, he did. I think he throwing shade tonight. Facebook. He throwing shade tonight.
I would never do that.
Okay, we're going to deal with that. But as I was saying, when we first met, women today, they have their friends, their girlfriends, and they be like, oh, that's my B. And they use the word and everything like that.
That's not cool.
So when you first met me, if I had a discernment, because actually when you did meet me, my mouth was a little bit different. It really was a little bit different. Not that I am the type to curse all the time, but I am, when I get mad, words do come out. I have piped down a lot. And one of the reasons is because of my husband, but another reason is because of my love for God. And it's just disrespectful. So, but what if when you had met me, would that have been a game changer for you? If everything else was right about me, except for the fact, my mouth, would that have been a game changer? Or would that have been something you say, well, I'll have to work on that.
I mean, that's a good question. Because knowing who you are and the type of woman that you are, I don't know that I would have totally and completely just left the situation alone. But I would have discussed it with you like we did. Because I believe that, you can. But see, when I first, you didn't talk like that when I first met you. Because if you did, like every other word coming out your mouth was like that,
then that would have been a game changer.
Yes, it would have. But you're very intelligent, and you don't. Sometimes you use those words, and I don't like it when you do it. That's just my thing, and we talked about that. But you never really, you never really went in, like really going off all the time, talking like that. You never really did that. So, it wasn't really that much of a game changer. It was just that, when we started being around each other more and more and more and more, then, when I'm hearing you say certain things.
Like when I get mad.
Yeah. And then too, like before we stopped drinking, because, we used to drink and we haven't had drinks in so long. We both used to trip out when we drank a little bit, but you used to do your thing then. When you was drinking, your mouth was kind of loose then.
Baby, don't be putting stuff out
there. I'm being honest. There's no,
So let's talk about that, because you brought up a good subject though. Do you feel like drinking, there's this cursing drinking woman, is there a type like that?
What with that, I don't care what nobody says, and this is just my opinion. You could take it or leave it, but at all costs, you can always be mindful of what you're saying. Whether you was drinking, whether you was smoking, whether you just wake up, whether you tired and haven't slept for a few days and ready to go to bed or whatever, you can always be mindful of what you say. Always.
Well, what about the women that are, or, because there are people who are alcoholics and drink and used to that lifestyle, and they might be a very nice person. Like, I knew this person once, a male, who was, when he wasn't drinking, he was a very, very nice, sweet person, do anything in the world for you. But when he got that sin juice in him, he was a mess. You didn't know.
Yeah, but even then, when you open your mouth, you gotta know what you're gonna say before you say it.
Well, now
there's a thought in your mind.
Yeah, but what about the alcoholics? You don't have. That's why you shouldn't drink to get drunk, because you really lose the control of yourself.
And this is just like I said again, my opinion. I'm not a doctor, but my opinion is, when you drink, you override the thought to say, "Nah, chill. Don't say that." You just let it. You just let it fly.
You do
more so than you would if you were sober. You'll think about it a little more when you're sober than when you're drinking.
Yes, I agree with that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You'll make a rash decision when you're drunk.
So you're saying that another game changer probably would have been,
the other way, baby. Just stick it down in the tape. We just have to do it the long way, because that's gonna be aggravating when you keep doing that like that.
I'm good. If I get sick, I'll turn it around.
All right.
So you're saying that perhaps a game changer would have been a woman who was also drinking and that works. It works, see? You're saying that a woman that, me and my husband is having some things going on tonight. If you could see, he's just this is how we what's the word? This is how we don't get along, okay? We're in our moment of I hate to say argument, because we don't really argue, but I guess our disagreement moment. This is our disagreement moment, and it's good that it's live, because then y'all will know, really, when we say we don't argue, we don't argue. This is our disagreements. This is how we do disagreements. Mm-hmm. He makes stank faces at me. He throws shade on me. And I don't appreciate it, but I got him. That's all right. You got to be careful when women go, okay, fine. Because you never know what's around that corner.
Oh, nothing for you.
I'm not scared of you, man.
I didn't say that. I don't want you to be scared of me.
Don't have my neck rolling.
You don't look right.
So you're saying that a game changer is a woman who's cursing and drinking and out of control.
Mm-hmm. For me, it is.
So it's okay, though.
I had a situation one time when I went out with a young lady years ago, and we were at a place, and she got tore down drunk, and she was really gorgeous, and it was a total turn off. Totally. When I say total, I didn't even want to ride in the same car. I got in another car, and she was supposed to be my date.
Okay, baby, but you are an exception,
I'm
because
different.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty, because so you're not saying that a woman can't drink, because let's say
it's okay, but do it in moderation. This is just me, my own thing. I don't like women that's pissy drunk like that. You know what I mean? All sloshing around and cursing and every word out your mouth is a curse word and your demeanor is ugly and all. I can't do that. It's going to fall again. That's not holding it there.
Well, honey.
Turn it upside. Turn it up. The other way. The LG goes in the bottom. Rotate your device.
Can't turn the phone live like that. That's not gonna work.
Okay.
Well, honey, I get your point of what you're saying. So
you're about to get slapped in the face for
I don't know who that is,
I don't either.
But you know my husband is
very important.
Yeah, he's a very important person. So we should have used my phone, but
yeah, we should have.
But we didn't, so he just gonna have to put up with it for an hour. They're just gonna have to call him back or leave a message or something. So
I ain't gonna miss no money now.
Okay, see, you know what? My husband and his stuff, we not gonna do that. We not gonna do my husband and his stuff.
I'm just saying.
Anyway. So what about you say, okay, that's for relationships, baby. What about
just meeting somebody?
Yeah, friendships and like,
if that's my friend, I could talk to her.
And you would say that?
Yeah.
That bothers with you for a female that's just a friend?
Yeah.
But what business is it of yours? You're not sleeping, and you know I'm playing devil
I don't have to
advocate.
sleep with her, but I'm gonna be around her at some point in time. If that's my friend, I will be around her. So if I'm going to be around her, then I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's just me. And I would say that, like, you know, you're doing a little bit too much them 4 little words, man. Like,
okay, what about if it's a friend of mine that has become friends with you because you?
Then I ask you to talk to her, and if she becomes friends with me, and she'll take the criticism out. That's just how I am. I don't like that. I don't. And if I don't say anything, then eventually it'll draw a wedge and it'll push me away. And when she comes over, hey, how you doing? And I'm going to another room.
Wow.
And you can sit there and listen to that.
Wow.
That's just how I feel. I don't like that. It's you know what? It's like nails on a blackboard. That's what it sounds like to me when I hear that. And then I'm looking at you, you know, not you per se, but I'm looking at women like you're more intelligent than that. Why do you have to even like that? What does it prove?
So here's my question for all of you live that's watching, the men. Is that a game changer for you, a woman that curse? Because, you know, it's very important to know the woman that you're with or to know her flaws, because one, you know, so much is happening these days and times, so many important issues. But one thing that people I'm seeing is that people want a mate, but they want a specific mate that they're going to be able to be with for the rest of their lives. And it's just not females, it's men too. So what's the game changer? Because we always say, ask the questions. What's your motive? So that has to be in there. You know, what if you had a woman who started out like per se, you know, I never, you know, put on facades or anything, but per se, what happens if my personality flipped once we got married and I started to be a woman that did the things that you didn't like for instance, cursing and drinking. Like, for instance, you know, we stopped drinking together and we didn't even realize we stopped drinking. It was something that God did. It was just, he just took the taste out of our mouth for some reason. But let's say he took it out of your mouth and not my mouth. And by the way, all praise to God, because God is so good that He did do that. He did it for both of us. You know, everything in our life, as long as we have walked by God, by the steps of God, has changed. But it didn't just change one-sided. That's why we always talk about being with someone that you're equally yoked with. It wasn't a thing where he lost the taste for alcohol, but I still was drinking, or I lost the taste for alcohol and he was still drinking. We walked that path together
and lost the taste
at the same time. So God is good. But as I was saying, what if that was not the case? What if you lost the taste? Because you can't change a person, or you always say that my happiness is important to you. And so even though I wasn't a real cursor or nothing like that, or I drank my butt off at times. What if your drinking you lost the taste, but I didn't? How would you have dealt with something like that?
Before we got married?
No, I'm talking about because we lost the taste after we got married. We both went into the marriage. We both was drinking, and then all of a sudden one day we wasn't. Well, what happened if it was one-sided? And I still like drinking, and that was me. That's something I did.
We would have to talk about that.
So what would you say to me? I mean, how would you, because my thing would be, because you've always been the type of man that, babe, I know that you give me the last decision, but, I let you be you. And one of the reasons why I love you so much is because you let me be me. You don't try to change me. You deal with my crazy and everything. For whatever I am, you knew about it, and you deal.
I would have known about the drinking. And if that's something that you didn't want to stop, and you wanted to continue doing that, like you said, God, take the taste from me, not from you. At that point, it would just be a topic of discussion with us. That's all. It will be a topic of discussion, and I will pray, and prayerfully God will take that. Because where you're weak, I got to be strong, and vice versa. So if I pray and ask God, take that from her, Lord, because that's not what we're doing in this marriage. That's not what it is. That's not what it's supposed to be. And you have not because you ask not, but I'm asking.
See, it's hard for me to ask you questions like that because, one, I know your faith and my faith is the same. And two,
because I'm nice like that. I'm mean.
No, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, what it is that we both believe the same thing. We believe that if we ask of our Father, then we shall receive.
Right.
So, for me to ask my husband that is hard for me because I already know the answer because I believe that. And I guess the going consensus, somebody who may not believe that would say, well, what happens if you prayed and things didn't change? And she still was drinking. How do you deal with something like that? And I guess my question is not so much for you, baby, but, there's a lot of couples who are going through a lot of things and they love each other and don't want to break up. But how do they deal with the adversity if they're already in it? Because we always talk about equally yoked and don't be with somebody that you're not equally yoked with. But reality is there's a lot of people together and they're already in it. And they're just trying to make it work.
Well, the only thing I could say as far as that's concerned is that, number one, seeing this goes back to even some of the shows that we've done previous to this one. You got to know who you are and know who you're with. You understand what I'm saying? And with that being said, you have to sit down and communicate. And you just, hey, listen, I know you like drinking, and it's something that you like. I don't drink anymore because it's just not what I want to do. I don't have that taste for drinking anymore, but I'm not telling you what to do, but is there a way we can compromise and work this thing out? Because, when you drink, you become different. And it's not something that I like. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's a way to talk about it. It's like, yo, you got to stop drinking, yo. I'm going to be out. That's not how you go about it. You sit down and you talk about it, and you talk to the person, not at them. Because as soon as you talk at them, automatic rebellion. You know what I mean? So you say, "Hey, babe, listen, there's something I want to talk to you about." You know, hey, okay, well, listen, I know you like trekking, and I know that that's something that you enjoy doing and you have fun when you do it. But just to me, I'm really not. I'm not pleased with your actions when you drink. You know what I mean? I'm not pleased with some of the things you say. Bothers me. Is there a way? I'm not saying stop completely right now, but can we work on some things? Can we compromise?
So here's a question, and I don't know if
that's the only way I see.
And I agree with you.
Someone could try and deal with that.
Here's a question, and it's I don't know if it's along the same line or maybe off to the left a little, but it has something to do with relationships and the things that you are trying to work out in a relationship. You and I believe that, and from experience, we believe that because we was equally yoked and because we followed God, that's why everything worked out so well for us, because we just trust and believe in God. But here's a question. What happens if you are with someone and you both are walking in the belief of God, what God has told you, and then you feel like that other person has sort of doubt God?
Then you pray for their strength. You pray for their
Is
faith.
that a game changer for you? Is that something that you say, there's a sign right there. I'm going to have to turn away from you because you're doubting God?
I can't just stop loving because you doubt God. And my job as a husband would be to...
But what if we haven't gotten to that point yet? We are of being husband and wife. Let's say.
If we were just a couple, you mean?
Yeah, and we would lead
See,
to
I'm
that.
looking at things from a marriage, but okay, if you was a couple, and same thing, if you love her like you say you do, and per se that was the only problem, pray for it. You pray for that thing.
So
I'm just,
I understand you, baby, but this is really for them. Right. And here's a question. So, and I know the answer to this, so don't say it, because my husband has the habit of saying that I ask the same questions over and over again.
Every question she asked so far, I done answered already.
Yeah, but this is not for me. So I know the answers to these questions. Public announcement, I already know the answers to these questions. But anyway, let's just say, you asked me to marry, and we started walking in our walk before we got married, like we did, per se. We agreed on things, and somewhere in the middle of that, like for instance, okay, a good example, because we're talking about cursing, and I am not a real big cursor, so that wasn't a problem. But one of the things we did in taking our walk, we were celibate. And there was times where I was weak. I would just say there was times where I was weak. But I prayed on it, and I learned that, I had to build that up spiritually. And so...
You wanted to test drive that car.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I admit. I did. But I prayed on it, and I stayed strong. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
But
it was hard for me, too.
Let's just say that there got to a point where I'm just like, baby, forget that. Let's just do it.
No.
And although you were strong in yours, I persisted or did things like tempt you. Because, I have a friend who's in a relationship, just got in a relationship, and they're practicing that, no sex before married thing. And for her, it's a huge problem. And I understand where she's coming from, because I really went through some changes with it.
You know what? That's when, and I know people may look at me crazy or think I'm crazy, but that's when you have to use your mind, because you control you. You understand? Look, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it.
But baby,
listen,
honestly, you're speaking from a strong point of view.
Baby.
What about people whose minds is not that strong, which people, or people who, you know, don't have the mustard seed of faith, or people who just trying to get there?
If you say you ain't going to kill nobody, you won't do it.
It's not the same thing, baby.
If you say you don't want to have sex, you ain't going to do it.
I tend to disagree on that. I don't think
you won't do it. Period. There's nothing that can make somebody do something that they don't want to do.
Okay, yeah, but here's the thing. When you have grown up when you've grown up in a certain environment, that's just like, for
instance, grown up in a sexual environment where you sexing all the time, this, that, and
exactly, it's hard. You just
that's
can't.
That's what it is. And
or
you can't
that's
just
what
turn
you
that
used to. You can't just turn that off. There's just like people.
That's when you challenge yourself. That's when you set a marker, set a goal, and challenge yourself. To say that, nah, I believe in myself, and I know I cracked down before, and this and that and the third. This time I'm gonna stick to my guns, and I'm not gonna do it. And that's what I did. That's what I did with us.
Okay, speaking from a woman's point of view, now, and maybe everybody don't agree with me. You are one in a million. There's a few more of you out there, but you are one in a million.
Like me.
So, okay. Okay. No. But, you know, when you take it from a woman who's grown up in an environment that's not used to men like that sex is important, and that, you know, to tell a man, as a matter of fact, let's put it out there, a man left me because I was like, I want to go celebrate.
Right. I understand that. I understand. But see, then that's on him.
But that didn't bother me because I was in another place. But let's say I was younger and wasn't in that place or had not learned yet. So you know, we got a lot of impressionable young ladies out here who do not have that, got low self-esteem and do not have enough confidence in themselves. Yes, and they confuse sex with love. If you love me, because society says if you love him and you just sure he is the one and he's treating you right, then it's okay to give him something. And I'm not saying that's right, because I don't believe that. But I'm just saying, how do you get to that point of, because I'm sure there's also young women out there who would like to abstain from it, but they are afraid because of what society has put in their heads. And so, therefore, another public announcement, no more sheets for women. That is an excellent video to watch. But, so therefore, when it is built in your head, how do you get to the point of knowing, okay, how do you get to the point of just not, because we flirt unintentionally. Like even with you, with me, I had to learn that with you. Remember how you went through, because I flirted and caused problems unintentionally just to try to egg you on. And I didn't do it like viciously, but it was just like,
it was a woman in you.
Yeah, it was the woman in me. You know, you gonna look at me. Let me see if I can distract you this way.
Or entice me and all.
Or entice you, yeah. Because I had to learn.
And none of it worked.
No, it didn't, but I'm just saying I had to learn.
But what happens, and I mean, in a scenario like that, the only thing that I could say is, you know, if there's someone that's going through that, reach out and talk to someone about it. Try and speak to someone about it. Try to talk to, if you are a member of a church, try to talk to your pastor about it. If, you know, try to talk to somebody about it. So this way you could get, you know, a different opinion. You know what I mean? Instead of sitting with your own opinion on it. You know, that's just like if somebody told you had gangrene on your toe, you go get a second opinion and say you just had a little infection. You know what I mean?
Wow, babe.
What
an analysis.
I'm just saying because like sometimes, and I understand what you're saying that with some women and men do it too. They mistake sex for love. You know what I mean? And that's not what that is.
Okay, but the age-old question is, you got to sample the car before you wouldn't go out there and buy a car before you test drive it. And so I think that is the consensus that society says.
That's so old, and that's nothing but an excuse. That's an excuse to me. That's an excuse.
And can you? I already
because again,
and I already know what you said to me. But
if she ain't really rocking like that, if she just want to lay there and she don't move to it,
listen, man, that's hogwash. That's hogwash.
Can you say why? And can you say what you told me?
Because if you are in love and you love that person and you're doing it right by God. No matter if it's one position that you do all the time, that one position is going to feel like the best thing in the world because you put God first and you let God drive that car. You understand what I'm saying? You let God drive that car. You give him the wheel and you give him both of the pedals and he'll go as fast as you want to go, slow as you want to go, swerve in and out of traffic, whatever you let him drive the car and you sit back and be thankful. And it's just, you know, if I just believe that's just an excuse. It's an excuse to be weak. That's just my take on it.
I love my husband, y'all.
It's an excuse to be weak because, Lord knows, I wanted to.
It's a family show.
Oh, says so. But at the same time, and this is me, like this is my thing. I didn't want to disappoint God because I prayed and asked him for this time in my relationship to not let that be one of the things that draws me closer to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Perhaps situation happens, God forbid something happened to me and we can't have sex. What else about you can I enjoy if there's no sex involved?
I saw a question like that on Facebook too from a dear friend of mine. Asked the question, what happens and can you live in a sexless relationship? What happens if your mate something happened and they can no longer have sex? How would you deal with that? Now, I think I speak for both of us when I can say that it's no problem for us because we did it before we got married. We actually lived together
and slept in the same bed.
And as my husband put it, there will be no
there will be no sex tonight.
As a matter of fact, one time
there will be no penetration.
Yeah, he said there would be no penetration. As a matter of fact, one time we pray at night and we pray in the morning. One time he even invited God to come in between us, and that really got me. That made me feel some kind of way. I gotta tell you. How you gonna invite him in between us? You know? I wanted to start something, you know. I was really offended by that, y'all. I have to tell you.
That was crazy.
I was like, no, he didn't invite God in between us.
Middle of our prayer.
No, if I wanted to sneak and try to sin, I couldn't.
Yeah. When I got finished praying, you looked at me like, did you?
He yes, really did that, y'all.
Yes,
he really did. He invited God in between us. And you know what? Come to think of it, I think it's because you was feeling some kind of way.
Whether that be the case or not, I invited him. You understand that? And he came on in.
Yes, he did.
And we watched
he stayed there until we got married.
I That wasn't the first time. I invited him a few times.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
and I think that was good. That was a blessing. That was a
we
blessing
needed him
because it got us to the point to where we are together 24/7.
Yes.
We are together every day, all day.
All day.
For real. Like every day, all day. Except for when I'm, recording or something like that. But other than that, we are together all the time. And it's not a bother to me, like, come on, man, I wish he'd go somewhere and do something. Come on, man. Come on. I've never ever felt like that. Never.
I haven't either.
I've never ever felt like that. As a matter of fact, when you go to the store or something and you're gone too long, I got to call you to make sure you're all right. You understand? But I'm just saying, it's a good thing when you wait.
So back to the subject.
Right.
So
cursing.
Yeah.
Right.
If the person midway, let's say we were like having sex like jackrabbits before and after, and then all of a sudden that ceased. Could you live? Well, I already know that you could.
That wasn't the topic.
I know, but I mean, it's back to the cursing woman. Well, what I'm trying, actually, it's
yes, I
back.
could live with you in a sexless relationship. Yes, I could. Yes, I could. Because I
already knew the answer to that.
Yeah.
I just remembered that I saw that on Facebook. A friend of mine's wrote that, and so
because we enjoy each other. We have so many things in common. We have fun, and then too. And this is another thing too. Speaking on that, like we could be in the same room, and she could be doing her thing, and I'll be doing mine, and we'd be so comfortable.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have to look at each other and give each other
every 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, I guess what people say, attention.
Right.
My attention.
She knows I'm here.
Yeah, that's my attention, knowing that he's here.
And I know she's here.
We can be doing two totally like he's not here, or I could be in my world, he could be in his world, and
I'm fine with it, and she's fine with it. So it's just the point of getting to know yourself and getting to know what you want. Now, it's back to the cursing woman thing.
Yeah.
You were asking me if midway through I stopped and she didn't.
Yeah.
And my answer to that was sit down and talk about it. Yeah, you would have to sit down and address it, but address it in a way to where you're not pointing a finger at her or pointing a finger at him.
Okay, here's the thing. I saw a movie like this once. No, I did. Okay, people go into comas or hit their head or something and lose their memory. And then people have said that changes their personality. No, seriously, I saw a movie like this and it was real. It was a true story. So let's say something happened where I fell and hit my head and something, and I went into a coma. And when I woke up from the coma, I was a different person from the person you married. Like, let's say I was a drinker or I was a cursor or something like that. And it wouldn't be like, it's not like a different personality. I mean, it wouldn't be because I switched up on you. It would be because of the accident. How do you deal with something like that? Let's say if after I had the accident and I came out the coma and I was healthy again, but I became one of those women who curse all the time. Would our marriage be over for that? Even though, that was something that couldn't, I would be that different person. Or like I all of a sudden changed from the person who stays at home and like to be home to want to go out all the time and drinking and cursing and hanging out with friends. And you know how we talk about, my marriage is sacred and I go to God when we, but there are women out here who goes to their friends. What if all of a sudden that changes and all of a sudden girl, he did this, and girl, that society says women that we don't like.
You can have that lifestyle. I'm out.
Would you leave somebody that you would leave me? I thought you loved me. It's not my fault.
I'm clipping your wings, fam.
Oh, he's clipping my wings. You see he's throwing shade. You see how he throws shade on me.
No, because I made a vow to God and said for better or for worse.
So how are you gonna deal with something like that?
That would be hard, but I'll be doing a lot of praying in my prayer closet.
Would you cheat on me?
No. Because see, now here's the thing. You also have to realize that my spirituality and my soul is still at stake at the same time.
Good point.
You understand what I'm saying?
Good
So if I want to go out here and start cheating and messing around and all of that stuff, when it's time for the Lord to roll a scroll back, I got to be accountable for that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So whether you conform back to who you were or not, I can't switch gears because you switch gears. I got to continue to be the man that I am. I have to continue being the same person. I have to continue to be in the same man that God called me to be in this relationship. And it will be tough, but I'm telling you what God loves is the truth. I know he will work it out. I know he would. And what time is it?
Okay, we still got time. I was just looking
How
to
much
see because
longer?
I can't see feedback.
It's one person watching, I think.
Hey, brother-in-law, Chef was on. I don't know if he's still on.
How much time?
Baby, you're not supposed to ask that when we film, and it's rude.
No,
That's rude. My
No, it's
husband
not.
is rude.
I'm
Just
not
rude.
rude.
I apologize for your rudeness.
That's a
We got
simple
10
question.
minutes. But you're not supposed to ask that while
Why?
you're taping because you just don't. That's like etiquette. It's like TV etiquette, live etiquette. We're live on the air. 2 million people, and you're asking how much longer? Like you're bored.
Has anybody ever asked what time it is?
But not when they were taping. Like when you're taping, that's
Oh
rude.
boy!
Suppose all the reality, suppose all the reality shows like I don't know because I don't watch them.
Well, this is not their reality. This is our reality.
Atlanta, something, whatever, Housewives or something. Well, suppose they just stopped in the middle of their liveness and go, "What time is it? We finished taping."
I didn't ask you if we were supposed to tape. I said, "What time is it? How much time left?"
See, that's like saying, we finished taping?" Like I'm bored with these people.
No, I was saying it. I was gonna say it's getting a good. There was a good conversation, and I didn't want to get.
Oh, now
cut
he's
short.
trying to fix it up.
I ain't fixing it. Listen,
I love
I don't
my
want to be on
husband.
this camera. I wouldn't be.
Public announcement. I love my husband. And actually, you don't want to be, but you know why he's on? Because my husband loves me so much.
Okay, so and with that
And
being
I love
said,
him for being that way too.
and with that being said,
Hi, brother-in-law.
don't
I
push
need
any
one of
buttons.
your delectable meals.
Oh, Chef Lambeau.
Yeah,
What's
those
good,
ones that
baby?
you be having on the
On the book.
yeah, on the book.
Okay.
I need to taste one of those dishes.
He does do his thing.
Yes, you do.
He does do his thing.
You're giving me a bad name because my husband usually only like my food, but then he sees yours and be like, "Ooh, babe, look at this," and I can't cook like that. I'd be like, "Mm-hmm, yeah, okay." He be fixing it up all pretty.
Garnish on the
I know. Little leaf on the side with a flower.
Help.
Don't mind me, brother. I love you.
Somebody help.
Look, I don't be thinking about putting no flour. I just get him the meal. It'd be all over the place.
That's how it'd be good. So,
So your consistency on it, it wouldn't have been a game changer, but it definitely would have been some talking and brain.
Yes, it would be something to talk about. It would be something to address. Yes.
Okay, I love my husband. Isn't he so? I'm in love. See, you know what? Get you a man. Let me talk to the women out there. Get you a man who can deal with your crazy. That's what I say. People ask me all the time, you know, where do I find a man? You know, I'm having this problem. Get you somebody. And this is not just for the women. This is for the men and the women. I take that back, just for the women. This is for the men and the women. Find somebody who can deal with your crazy. Because if you find somebody who can deal with your crazy, then that is the one. That's what I say.
It's not even about finding someone. It's about letting God give you.
Okay, you're right, baby. He's right.
Deal with your crazy. Because you can find somebody and feel like that's it. You can deal with it. But, you know, when it starts to get extensive and it starts to change up a little bit.
That's when you ask them, what's your motive?
And you be like, yo, you was all right last week, but this week you were a little bit over the top. And then another week go by and it get worse. And it's like, I'm out.
Well, baby, you ain't do that for me. And I got crazier by the week.
I knew you're crazy when I met you.
Okay.
and then God just revealed it to me along the way. You know, revealed the rest of it to me.
That's your crazy right there. You're going to have to deal with it. That's what God said.
Yeah, look here, sucker.
That's going to be your crazy.
That's all yours, sucker. See if you can handle that. Handle it, nigga. Go ahead, sucker. Let me see where you scram for this, sucker.
Not scream.
Sucker.
Oh, my God. Oh, my husband is crazy too.
And that's just dope. And it's become normal now. It's not even crazy. It don't bother. It never did bother me. It never did. Because in every way, somebody has their own crazy, you know. Some people's crazy.
What you gotta say?
No. You got to roll on that. Hang on. Let me finish.
Did y'all hear? I want this. I'm glad we're recording. My husband calling me
crazy. I didn't say crazy. You're a bit, you know.
What's the words? You get anything?
You're on sandwich short of a picnic. But we still got the blanket out. And,
oh, God.
We're going to enjoy that air that God gave us. But Lord knows it's a sandwich missing.
Listen, I'm just deep with it. That's what's wrong with me. I'm deep with it.
Come back.
Actually, though, seriously, I think another reason is that my husband knew me and he saw me
right
in my when I thought there was nothing there. You know, when we were just friends, I just knew him. So I think that
what happened, it was things, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but it was things that was revealed to me in time and vice versa. Things that were revealed to you in time also. So with that being said, at the end of the day, you know, the get to know process was really easy because we already knew each other. You know what I mean? We was around each other a whole lot. And then we always had conversations. We always had conversations that you and I talked about that nobody else talked about. There was moments when you and I had, you know, sitting on the porch smoking a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? And it was just me and you chopping it up. You know, and I told you things and you told me things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I trusted in that you would, you know.
So we had a chance
that I could confide
to see the real in each other, whereas, you know.
Way before the relationship and everything. We had a great friendship.
So many times people try to pretend when they first start dating somebody or try to be what they think that person wants them to be just to get that person. And we have always said, be yourself, be real. And in our case, we didn't even have to pretend because we wasn't even we didn't know we was, but we wasn't thinking about a relationship. We were just ourselves because we were friends.
Right. We had a great relationship.
So
a great friendship.
Yeah, the building of a relationship was just
easy.
Icing on the cake.
That was the easy part. That was easier than building a friendship that we had.
Yeah.
That just kind of fell into place, really.
Yeah.
And then when we did get together, it was like we'd been together for years already.
Yeah. Because we already knew each other.
You know what I mean? So it was nothing hard. Like there was no. As
a friend, I really did. I don't. Now I understand it, but then I didn't. I cared about what he thought. I didn't even know why, but I did care about what he thought. Because I would make little remarks to him, to try to explain away some of my actions, which. He wasn't my man, so it really I didn't know him any explanation, but for some reason inside of me, it was like, I don't want him to think this. Let me tell him, let me explain this. And now I understand it was all in God's greater plan, but at the time it was like, oh, why am I explaining anything to him?
and to go even a little further, when God has something planned, it's like I say all the time, it's in his time, not ours. Even when you would, go to certain lengths to tell me that, this thing or that thing, like it never bothered me. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I know that at any time I could call you, come see you, or vice versa, and we'd be all right. Mm-hmm. If I was I talk to you about other women. You know what I'm saying? You talk to me about other dudes. You know what I mean?
So all you guys out there that did not make it, it's his fault because he told me, God, don't do that. No, he playing a game with y'all. Don't listen to him.
You make me look like the culprit.
Nah, don't go out with him. No.
You know what it is? They wasn't strong enough to deal with a woman like you. So that's why it didn't last.
Oh, my baby.
You understand? They wasn't man enough to hold it down. That's what that was. Because had they been, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, right now, Mr. Hatchett, he chopped things up.
That's facts. That's facts. I ain't big-headed or nothing, but those is facts.
I concur, honey. I concur.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. I know we kind of
we were kind of in left field tonight,
but it's okay because
we was feeling
haven't
ourselves.
been on in a minute.
Yeah,
And, we kind of.